evening everyone, and welcome to Ted's Booze Cellar, the premier alcohol review show here on YouTube. I'm your most gracious host, Ted, and today we are about to hit 25 minutes past 7 on the 9th of May 2024. I hope I'm finding you all in a good state of affairs, and if I'm not, then I hope things improve very, very soon. And I want to wish you all the best for the coming weekend. Now, today we're going to be taking a look at another drink by our old friends, or frenemies, in the form of Brewdog. Now, to be fair, I've said before, Brewdog have made some inconsistently and wildly bizarre drinks. I do appreciate their inventiveness with their flavours, and some of the designs of their cans are genuinely inspired, and some of their drinks are genuinely really, really good. I love Elvis juice, for example. That's a good one, but yeah, again, they're just very inconsistent. Although, as you guys will have seen on the last episode on a Brewdog drink, which was only last week, that one was actually pretty alright. So hopefully this should be quite good. And to be fair, it may be quite good because this one is an 8.4%er. Yeah, this is quite strong stuff. And as you can see here, it is called King Crush, which does seem to be somewhat video game inspired to a certain manner of speaking. And I will say, I like the inventiveness of not just the name and the colours on the can, or the fact that it's an 8.4% beer. However, while I love the colours and the contrasts against each other through that on the can, I have to say I'm not a massive fan of the design of the can. I don't know about it. Usually I like this sort of design, like this sort of kind of out there, artsy, slightly video game inspired design. This is my jam, honestly it is. But I don't know what it is. There's something about the design of this can that is just a little bit, doesn't feel right. It just lacks a bit of that fizz, a bit of that sort of artistic kind of bang. And I don't know. Maybe it's just me being a bit greedy and sort of, wanting every can to look like a Mozart song or a Van Gogh painting or whatever, but I don't know, I'm just not rocking with the design of the can. Colours are great though, I will say that. I really, really like, actually, on the back they've got the writing in outline, sort of like teal kind of writing, which actually does contrast really nicely against the dark sort of kind of bluish greenish kind of colour here. It kind of probably will appear more like a green on the camera, but it does have a blue tint to it as well. And I will say that the main name of the drink being in gold really stands out quite nicely. So I will actually be somewhat generous to the design of the can, and I will give it like a 6.5 out of 10 because the colours are great. But I don't know, the design is just lacking that bit of extra pizzazz for me. I do also like the confidence of the tagline on the drink here, which says, "A kingdom of flavour awaits." So we'll see how true that is in a minute. But first, I did want to read up a little bit more on this drink on the Brewdog website, because I did try to look up the price of it on the website of the supermarket where I got it from. However, that supermarket didn't have this drink on their online store, even though I was able to buy it in the shop. So yeah, sorry about that. But anyway, let's have a quick look at the Brewdog website to see if we can get any more preliminary information. Okay, so it says here that it is a big, bold and powerful double milkshake IPA that's packed with mango and passion fruit. This is a brilliantly balanced, sweet and citrusy beer fit for monarchs and enjoyed by mere mortals. You know what, I will give Brewdog this. While they do get a bit over flowery in some descriptions of some of their beers, the one for this is actually pretty funny. I quite enjoy that. So it says here as well, it's got a high level of hoppiness, it's got a low mid level of bitterness, and it's got like a mid level of maltness. The ingredients are water, malted barley, lactose, hops, yeast, torrefied wheat, malted oats, natural flavourings. And if you want to know what the lactose is, it is milk. It says it has a colour of light gold. It has hops of Citra, Mosaic and Talus. Not very experienced with Talus. I've had some Mosaic IPAs that have been really hit and miss, but also quite a few that have been quite good. And my experience with Citra IPAs has generally been pretty good as well. I know it's kind of seen as a bit of like a basic hop to put in a beer, but I actually generally really, really like Citra. I think it's good stuff. And it's also got some malts in here of dextrin, malted oats, pale ale, and good old torrefied wheat again. and the drink style is, as they said, a double IPA. Yeah, let's have a quick snifter of this beer to see what our first impressions are like. The description of the beer on their website is obviously pretty succinct and to the point, so I do appreciate that. Let's see. Ooh, wow, that's a strong nose. Definitely getting a lot of the passion fruit, but I'm not getting so much of the mango, to be honest. Yeah, the mango is a little bit there. It's kind of in the afternose a little bit. But the main through line of that nose is just a very, very strong sense of passion fruit. And it's a nice nose, but it is quite overpowering. So I'll give the smell in the can like a 5.5 out of 10. It does actually smell quite nice. It's just extremely imbalanced. Like, literally the only thing you can smell is the passion fruit and a little bit of the mango in the after smell. So yeah, it could be better, it could be worse. Oh wow, that is a very clear hue. Woo! Well, it was clear when I was pouring it out of the glass. I mean, out of the can, sorry. But in the glass, it all of a sudden becomes a lot more hazy. Huh. Weird. Yeah, it looked, when the little bit of the stream coming out of the can into the glass, it looked really clear, but now it's in the glass, it's actually quite hazy. Although it's clearing up a little bit now that it's settling down. Nice looking head on it as well, that's not bad. So yeah, I'm interested to see what this is like, and of course let's have a quick snifter of it in the glass to see what it really smells like. Doesn't have much of a character actually to the nose in the glass, but it is generally a lot more of a balanced nose, and it does smell a bit nicer in general, so I'll give it like a 6.25 out of 10 for the nose in the glass. It's not amazing, but it does smell nice, and it's generally a lot more balanced nose in the glass, and you can smell a bit more of the mango, and the passion fruit isn't as overpowering. So yeah, 6.25 in the glass, I think. Yeah. Anyway, as Imogen and Owen are always interested in seeing, quick palate cleanser before we really taste what this tastes like. Ah, lovely. And then on to the most important part of the video, which is to see what this sucker really tastes like. So, to everyone at home, thank you for your support so far this year, and here's to a good weekend ahead. Bottoms up. Oh, that aftertaste isn't great. God, the main body of the flavour's alright, but that aftertaste is weird. It's not terrible, it's just not great, and it is a bit strange. So, in similar vein to the nose, there is a bit of mango, but again the passion fruit flavour is kind of a little bit overwhelming. The flavours that are there are nice, but yeah, like I said, it is just a bit imbalanced. The texture though, the texture is a mess, honestly. The texture is not great, and it doesn't complement the flavour. It's quite muddly, it's very fizzy, which I think if you combine fizziness or like a heavy level of hoppiness and fizziness with these fruity flavours in a pale ale or a normal IPA, that would work really well. But because it's a milkshake IPA and it's a bit like more sweeter than tartar, I feel like the level of fizz they've got in here, or like the kind of texture they have, doesn't really work that well with those fruity flavours. What is also a little bit of an issue here is that I do like milkshake IPAs, but I more so prefer them if they're based around actual like proper puddings, like like a ice cream sundae, or like a banoffee pie, or a spotted dick, I don't know. But it's, yeah, generally I'm not a massive fan of fruit-based milk IPAs. It's just not really for me. So I am trying to remain somewhat objective, but even without that, I do think that the texture really sort of lets this drink down. And then there's this kind of sort of like aftertaste that I can only describe as a bit mouldy, in the sense that it just kind of sort of like comes rushing in, doesn't settle at all, doesn't let you kind of compliment or contemplate the flavours, and it just kind of sort of, it's a really confusing sort of aftertaste. It's bizarre, it's hard to describe it. It's like it comes in with like too much sensation and too much flavour, and then finishes on like very little character overall. It's really odd, and like the aftertaste is bizarre. It's not great, but it's not terrible either. However, I think the weakest part of this drink is the texture. I honestly think if you made the aftertaste just a little bit clearer and crisper, and like gave it a bit more of a dry, crisp finish, or just a more creamy texture, I think this would actually be really, really good. As it is, it's not terrible. It's not even below a 5 out of 10. It's not that bad. It's just a bit weird. It just has some aspects to it that I think could have been done better, and particularly in relation to the combination between the fruity flavours and the texture, there are parts of it that on their own would maybe work well in other ways or with other flavour combinations, but I just think here it doesn't combine together particularly well. Overall, this is an experience of a drink with interesting and actually pretty nice flavours, a texture that doesn't really mix, and a quite frankly underwhelming and sensationally confusing texture. It's a really odd drink. It's not bad, it's just fine. It's just okay. Yeah, but I don't really want to drink much more of this, and I'm probably not going to go out of my way to get this again in the future, so I'll give it a 5 out of 10. Yeah, no, it's not great, but definitely could be worse. And to be honest with you, with a bit of tweaking, I actually do think this could be pushed on for like a 7, really. It is actually good, but it's just disappointing, perhaps, but not bad. Just disappointing, really, to be honest. But I don't know, hopefully you guys like this drink a bit more than me, because I do think this is kind of one of those ones where I might not like it myself, but I do imagine a lot of other people enjoying it, because it does have an interesting flavour to it. So yeah, give it a shot if you do like the sound of it. And if you liked this video, leave a like, share and subscribe. If you have any suggestions for future episodes of Ted's Booze Cellar, be that drinks or other video formats, then leave them in the comment section down below. I will be releasing a History of Carlsberg Special Brew at some point in the next couple of weeks, so do keep your eyes out for that. And if you want to check out any of my other social medias online, I'll leave the links to all those in the video description down below. But until next time, have fun, stay safe for whatever you're doing, don't do anything I wouldn't do, drink responsibly, know your limits, wash your hands, and I'll see you guys at the bar next time on Ted's Booze Cellar. Bye-bye for now.